Blessed Rising Soul Family. Greetings to you all my beautiful kings and queens, gods and goddesses. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, this is Soul Family Oracle. I deliver messages from the divine, the depth of our soul, our spirit guides and our ancestors. And if you're returning as always, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. So today's message basically says that you are setting the standards in your life now. You are setting the standards in your life now. Whoever I'm speaking to, you've come out of an old energy where it feels like the things that you were living by or the life that you were living was very much by the standards of other people, by the standards of circumstances, by the standards of society or groups or communities that you belong to. And it's like, as you've gone through this phase of not just awakening but ascending, or basically like going higher in your ascension or in your awakening or your spiritual journey, you've come to this point where you were basically moved. I'm hearing the tower. It's like you went through a tower moment and you were basically moved to had to like release and remove a whole lot of things. And I feel like this is what has been the theme for a lot of people in the last few months or in the last few years that they've been going through the awakening. And what was coming through is like you've gotten to this point where now you get to set the standards of what you live by. And you are not being, it's like you don't have to live by the standard of other things anymore. And I feel like this is coming through for some in a way where it's like you're being put in positions to make decisions. You're being put in positions where you are required to make decisions, or you're required to maybe take some kind of leadership role. And this is because it's almost as if like Spirit is trying to use it as an opportunity to like groom you into becoming this person that is moving according to the beat of your own drum. This person that is moving according to the things that you put in place, according to your own plans, because it's like this energy that you're in right now, there's going to be other people and other things that will need to move according to your energy. That's because you've stepped into an energy. I'm hearing magnetism, like you stepped into this energy of like magnetizing to yourself the life that you want to live. Which means in this life that you want to live, you're attracting or magnetizing to that new reality, the type of people that you want to be in this new reality, and the type of things, the kind of connections, the type of things or whether opportunities or roles that you play. And I feel like this is coming in a way where it's like, for a lot of you, it might feel a bit overwhelming, because it might be like all of a sudden you're being put in this position where you have to be a leader, you have to make decisions, you have to, decide on behalf of other people. Also, for some of you, I'm hearing. And it's like, this is something that you have already been preparing for, even though it may not have been like directly where you're like, oh, I'm preparing to become a leader, I'm preparing to become a boss. No, but it's like innately, almost like spiritually also, this is something that you have been in preparation for. Because the thing with living under the according to the standards of others, or living by the standards of others, is it allows you to see the things that you want and the things that you don't want, the things that you would willingly give up time for, and the things that you would willingly take your time from, the things that you would love to dedicate to, and the things that you don't want to be associated with, right? Because this gives you a fair understanding of where you stand with people and with yourself. Because the thing is, you can be made to live under the standards of people, but that doesn't mean that it will become your standard. Even though, of course, the longer you continue to live under a certain conditioning, the easier it is to become part of your nature. But in this sense, it's almost as if because you were going through an awakening, it didn't just like give you a lot of awareness on what you were dealing with or what you were going through. It also gave you like this upper hand to see yourself from a different point of like where you truly want to be. And this where you truly want to be is like where this energy is like being pushed out from right now. It's like this energy of you setting the standards in your life right now, or living according to the standards that you set, is coming from this space or this place of knowing exactly what standards don't work for you. 5:23 on the timer as I just opened my eyes. That's 5:5. So I feel like, again, this is speaking of heavy change, but it's like you are part of this change. I say you are part of the energies that are ushering in this change. It's not just about your spirit team doing something and the ancestors and the universe or the divine orchestrating things on your behalf. This is like, I'm hearing control, willpower. This is like a position of control. This is like you being in control of your life, you being in control of like the outcomes that you see. So if you were somebody that used to be in this energy of like, oh, God is in control, and yes, God is in control, right? But it's almost as if like you are understanding now better when to surrender and when to take charge, because before you were always in a position of surrender, but not surrendering as like surrendering to the universe or surrendering to the flow of your life. It was just surrendering to the circumstances or surrendering to the energy that you were living under because of what you were used to, because of the things that you were in, because of the standards that had been set for you. So if an example is like, if you were in a job where you had to live your life a certain way because of the job you had, maybe because the job had certain standards that you had to live by that required you to be 24/7 devoted to the job, that required you to like limit your social life, that required you to like take extra time from your personal life just to be able to like keep up with work. It's like those things are now being released, and in a way they're becoming like 0707 on the timer. In a way they're becoming like this template to help you build the new identity or this new life that you would like to live, or this new, and this new life could also involve a new business, or this, whether it's a new job you want to get into. But it's like this is giving you a template, or helped you to develop a template of how you would like to live, or what you would like to see in your life, or how you would like for your life to become. And it's like now you have all the information you need, or you have all the awareness you need to build these new standards, like to build this template, a new template according to the standards that you have set for yourself. And another thing with living under the condition or the standard of other people is, for some of you, or for all of you, as a matter of fact, living under other people's standards put you in a position to feel what it means to live, to settle, and to live less of yourself, or to be less of yourself, in the sense that even if you were in a very high position in a company, right, you were not being allowed to like really execute the plans or the ideas that you have, or like to really like have creative control. So it's almost as if like you were just like a decoration for the position, right? Like a title holder or just a title bearer. And it's like it really like allowed you to see or to understand even the importance of like holding positions that matter to you, in the sense that like if you're in a high position, it doesn't mean you'll be able to do what you really want to do, or if you'll be able to make the impact that you want to make. So it's like this understanding has also come from the lessons that you've learned from being in the places that you thought you needed to be in order to make an impact, or in order to transform your life, or to do better with your life, right? Because it's really like allowing you to see how it could have even been better or different if you didn't choose to settle for those situations. But the thing is, you may not have realized that you were settling for those situations in the beginning, but now you're seeing this very clearly. So for some of you also, I'm hearing something about relationships. It's like I'm getting this energy of like relationships that you've been in, and not necessarily like romantic relationships, like, boyfriend, girlfriend, or like husband, or this is like relationships in general. This could also involve like just like your social circles, right? And it's like you were living under like the standards that had been set by others in the terms of like how they want to feel in a relationship, or like the things that they expect from a relationship. And in doing so, it's like you were consciously doing it by putting your needs aside. 10:10 on the timer. By putting your needs aside and allowing yourself to like go with the flow of these people. So in a way, again, like surrendering to what you thought or what you were feeling at the time was supposed to be what was what you were supposed to be doing. And for a lot of you, you're now realizing that that was you settling, right? And so in this new energy, or this, with this awareness that you have, it's like you're moving in a way where it's like everything is being built on the things that you want to see for yourself now, and not just because it's like their dreams or like things you aspire to be. No, but it's because like innately you feel like this is how you want it to be, because this is what will make you feel the best. This is how you yourself would gain the best, and not gain the best in terms of like, oh, you're trying to be greedy or selfish. In a way, selfish a bit, but like selfish in a good way, where you understand that the standards that you set for yourself, 11:11 on the timer, whereas like you understand that the standards that you set for yourself is not just about how you want to live, but it's also about the things that you want to attract into your world, and the things that you want to see flourish and multiply in your world. So it's like you are actively creating this new life, or a new life, from the experiences that you've had, and from basically it's like so it's almost like, in a way, it's like I have this feeling where it's like you're course correcting, not starting over. 1144, as I said, that it's like you're course correcting, not starting over, right? And in this sense, it's not like you're trying to fix what is broken instead of like starting afresh. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's like in this energy, it's almost like you are using the things that you learned from the past, and the things that you've experienced from living under other people's conditionings, other people's standards, like, and I'm hearing other people's dreams. So for some of you, this could have been you trying to build other people's dreams, and you thinking that is going to fulfill you because you were a worker, or because 12:21 on the timer. So this is giving me this like mirroring energy, where it's like you may have been using the achievement that you were gaining from living under other people's standards as your personal achievement. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the timer. So it's like it's almost like somehow you were living the achievement that you had made from other people, living under other people's standards, as your achievement, as your gains, as your wins. But it wasn't fulfilling to you because it really wasn't your win, right? It's like doing a job for somebody because that was the job that was appointed to you, and then you do it great, and it's like, oh, well done, very great job, but it's just something that you did for somebody, even though you used your creative skill and everything. 13:13 on the timer. Why? Because even though it's something that you are building, you don't have full creative power. You don't have full control over it. You're building it according to somebody else's dream, somebody else's standard, somebody else's requirement. So in a way, it's like for a lot of you, you are coming out, or you've come out of this energy where it's like you're realizing that the things that used to make you fulfilled or make you feel fulfilled were just because it was attached to the standards that you were living by, which weren't your standards, but standards of other people. So in a way, it's like you've really come to the understanding that you can only really be fulfilled when you were living according to the standards that you have set for yourself, or the standards that you develop for yourself. And in this energy, you can't actually even excel even when you're working for others, because you can choose like, okay, I do this and this and this. Maybe I'm a freelancer, but as part of what I do, I require to have full creative control, in the sense that, as a person I'm working for, you do have a say, you make your own requirement of what you want for your work, but I maintain creative control, as in I'm allowed to use my creative skill to execute the work as to, how best I see it, instead of being controlled to do it this way, do it that way, even when or when you can see that that is not the best way to go with the project. So I feel like for a lot of you, this is not even just it might not be huge starting something new totally, right? So you could be in a position that you feel is like a dream job, or you could be where you feel is like your dream place, or where you really want to be. But there could be things that are making you not feel fulfilled because you are not excelling. And the reason why you might not be excelling is because you're not allowing yourself to truly to truly create. And it might be because, again, you're living under the standards of other people because you don't have full creative power. And I'm getting, for some of you, it's not because you don't have full creative power, but it's just like you've been conditioned to believe that because you are in a space where you're working with others or working for somebody, you need to move according to the standards of that person. And it does make sense, right? It's like working in a company, and then it's like the company has certain values and morals that you live by. But the thing is, if the company is not upholding those values or morals, or if the company is not working according to what your moral values are, right, then you might need to look at the position that you play in this company as a whole, right? And if there's a way or there's an opportunity to make a change, you can push forth for that change. But if that change doesn't happen, or if multiple times you're being guided to like release yourself because there's not going to be change or favorable outcomes, then that is one sure sign, or one clear sign, that there are new standards that need to be put in place or built in order for you to be able to excel, or in order for you to do something that would allow you to excel, right? So for some of you also, this could be the energy of like you finally leaving something that was like blocking your creative abilities, like something that was like pressing on your creative skill, like wasn't allowing you to really express your creative abilities. And it's like now you've come to this point where you were trying to, maybe you're even trying to like figure out what your standards are, even like you're trying to figure out, like you might be in a phase where you're trying to figure yourself out, right? Where you're trying to figure out who you are without that old job, or who you are without that company, or who you are without that position. 1717 on the timer. And it's like you're needing to understand, or you're coming into the understanding that you are who you say you are. You are the standards that you set for yourself. You are the foundation that you build. You are the plans that you make. You are the goals that you set. And this is like what is like literally like showing you how to set the standards, or what standards need to even be set in the first place. So I feel like this is like a very interesting energy, right? I'm hearing leadership position. This is like a very interesting energy, because for some of you, if you've never been in the leadership position, or if you've never been in a position of like having to make the decisions all by yourself, or having to like be in full control where you don't need permission from anybody, you don't need to follow anybody's directive, or do it according to what you believed, or it's like it might feel a bit heavy or overwhelming for you. And that's the energy I'm getting. For some of you, you're going to be put in a position of leadership where it's like all of a sudden you go from taking orders from people to giving the orders. You go from like living, basically living in the shadows and just doing what you're being told, to being put in the forefront and making creative decisions, or making decisions that affect people, like literally like on the go. Like it's like the decisions that affect multiple of people. And it's like another thing is, with some of you, how this is going to happen, it's going to be like so instantaneous, or like so abrupt, and it's going to be in a way where it's like the divine is going to allow you to show everything that you have been suppressing for all this while, to show everything that has been within you all this while. And what I'm getting is like, for some of you, it's going to be like somebody is fired from a position they're in, and you are giving that position, or somebody is like fired and you are promoted. 1919 on the timer, that goes back to 1010. And I feel like this is because, with the 19 and the 10, it's almost like the divine is like 1 and 9. You need to start. There's a new beginning that's out yet for you. You are way too seasoned. You are way too experienced to be acting as if like you were a newbie or a John Doe. So it's like this 19, the divine is like, I'm putting this together, and like shoot you up 10. And it's like next thing you know, you are in the position, and now you are being faced with the things that you may have wished or wanted your leader or your boss then to understand or become aware of. And it's going to be because the divine is like, you've always known better ways, you've always had better ideas, but you've never allowed yourself to really show or express it. And maybe it's just because you were living under somebody else's standard, or maybe because you were, you had to live in the shadows, or maybe because you were not being allowed to excel. And so now the divine is literally going to put you in that position, and it's going to be like, I'm hearing all eyes on you. It's going to be like, now show them what you were talking about the whole time. Now show them what you've been building within you the whole time. Now show them how it's done. Show them the best ways. Show them what the standard is. Wow. I think this is this is a very interesting and very beautiful energy. It's just making me feel like it's like this energy of like it's time, or it's like it's about time. For some of you, it's like I'm seeing this energy where it's like maybe you could be even be in like a group setting where you do the most, like you do a lot, I'm getting the energy of like one of those secretaries that do everything for their boss. It's like your boss literally depends on you, like in so many ways. Nobody might say it, but literally like the company depends on you because your boss depends on you so heavily, right? In a way that if you are not there, or if you're not available to cater to them, there will be chaos. There will be a lot of disorganization. There will be a lot of like mistakes. And right now you are being allowed to be in the position where you get to be in that front row, because you deserve to be in that front row, because you've been cultivating the discipline. You've been taking on the responsibilities, not just the responsibilities like your responsibilities, but the responsibilities of others also. Because for instance, for some of you I'm getting the energy of like somebody that's like, you can't stand to see somebody else do it wrong, right? Or not do it right. So in, let's say like in a setting, like a job setting, like you have some colleagues that would do the bare minimum, right? And it's like they feel like, oh, it's like it's nothing, like, oh, never mind, it's fine, or it will be okay. And then you are the type of person that is like very attentive to detail and very like detail oriented, very organized and very aware, somebody that's a visionary, and you like to like look ahead and like. And so it's like when you see certain things, like when you see them act like that, or those things happen, like you're usually like quick to run to the rescue, like, oh, let me just try and fix this, or let me put this in place because, that's how it's supposed to be. And it's like somehow in doing so, you have saved the face of your team or your group or the company or your boss so many times, and not even received any form of acknowledgement for it. And not that you needed acknowledgement for it, but it's just like this awareness that you were doing more than you're supposed to even be doing. For some of you, it's like you're doing the role of multiple people, and now you get to be in a position where you can fully excel by taking on that role and also be acknowledged for it. 23 on the timer, that's 5 again. So with this, like being acknowledged for it, it's not even like acknowledgement as in being compensated or nah. It's going to be, for a lot of you, being acknowledged for it as in like people are going to get the awareness that you're trying to give to them. They're going to see what you've been trying to tell them for years. They are now going to begin to understand the systems that you try to explain to them or try to put in place. So for some of you, there's something about systems. I'm hearing automations, right? So there might be something to do with like what you do, something about automations. I don't know what that's about, but it's like I'm hearing like somebody like you build systems. I'm hearing like a funnel. It's like you build systems. Maybe you build systems for companies, or like you do something like business development, or like project development, concept development, or something like that. It's like almost like you have this ability to like break things down and like go to the nitty gritty and like really pull things apart and open it up for people to see where the loopholes are, where the opportunities are, where the stagnancies are. Right? So I feel like this energy is something that you've been doing, but have been doing in the background. But it's like the divine has really brought your mind or attention to the fact that what you're doing has literally been a role that is like above your pay grade. Yes, above your pay grade, or above whatever status or title that you live under right now, or have under whatever job or position you feel. So for some of you, I'm getting, for somebody, it's like, I don't know, I'm seeing something like a boss taking document. So for some of you, it's like you work for like a boss that never, gives you accolade for your work, and maybe like your boss has a boss, or like your boss takes your work for like project sorry, and business contracts and stuff like that, but it's like they're presenting your work as theirs. They're presenting your work as theirs. This might be one of the reasons why it's like they're trying to like maybe overshadow your work or something of the sort, right? So for some of you, you're going to be moved into a different place or position, or maybe even your own company, where it's like you get to really use your talent and your skills for yourself, and you get to set the rules and set the tone on how things should be done. And not just anyhow, because it's like, again, with the taking on the responsibility and all the organization and all those things, you've learned a lot. Not not only have you learned a lot, but you've also like polished what you know already. You've added on to what you know already. It's like you've polished your skills, right? And now you are so deserving to like have your own team, or have your own thing going, or be the one in charge and full control of how you put out your work, and how, the things that you put in place for it to run. Wow. This is where I'm going to leave this message, guys. I feel like everything has come out, and yeah, I don't think this was intended to be a very long message. So as always, please use your discernment. Oh, and yeah, so with the ancestral healing guide, like a lot of people messaged for it, and the last few ones I sent out, I realized it was a mistake with the link, so I will be reposting the link. But that actually gave me the opportunity to revive and upgrade it, because I have been working on the ancestral healing practical guide, and I thought I was going to wait till later to put it out, but seeing the mistake I made in this, I am polishing it so that I can put it out. And this is like a practical guide that literally like has everything. Like, I pour a lot into the ancestral healing, ancestral veneration, doing the ancestral work, the importance of it, and the various elements attached to it, like tools, setting up an altar, and all those things. So it's like a very in-depth guide to ancestral healing that you can use as a beginner or first timer, and I'm really, really excited for that. I'm super excited for that. So as always, guys, please take only what resonates, leave what doesn't. And if the message resonates with you, please like, share, subscribe to help us reach even more of our soul tribe. Have a blessed day, guys.